supported Donald Trump.
Hillary.
Donald Trump.
Hillary.
Donald Trump.
Hillary Clinton. I'm a Democrat. I believe strongly in the ideals of the Democratic Party. I'm pro-choice. I think that socially and economically, Hillary is what's best for this country.
You know, I lived through 9/11. I saw what happened on 9/11, and to experience that, I don't think you can ever take the same view of the world after having seen what happened on that day. And I think the trauma of that experience has shaped my beliefs on terms of national security and immigration the way that they have. And I don't think, obviously, that's not true for everybody from New York, but that's the way that it shaped me.
I think she thinks that America is about our differences and that those differences are what makes our country. And compared to Trump, he thinks that our differences are bad.
My parents actually own and run a business in the steel industry, and we saw the rust belts of the states of Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania really turning out a lot of blue-collar workers, voting for Trump, really because of his message that he was going to fight for white-class working families, blue-collar workers, a lot of steel workers and coal workers, like my parents, like my grandparents, and people they employ. So his message, his economic message, really just to help the average American family really resonated with me and drew me to support him very early on.
As far as Donald Trump goes, I just really didn't agree with a lot of his rhetoric. I thought it was divisive and hurtful and just not what I thought America represented.
Overall, as a country, we need some sort of change, and based on what Trump has been saying and the plans he's outlined, I think that he can do that.
I believe that she is the most qualified candidate we have ever had for president. She has the most experience. She, from day one has been working with, families, and she was a civil rights lawyer, and she did things that were just really, really impressive and led to what should have been, this should have been the end to her.
She becomes really famous from running for senator in New York. She got lucky in that election because Rudy Giuliani, who was going to beat her for Senate, got sick and got cancer, so she won easily. She's not even from New York. And then she has this long career as senator where she doesn't really do anything. And then she becomes Secretary of State, where she has a lot of disasters.
I think Hillary has more experience, in politics, to be honest, but I think that he will get more things done just based on his tenacity.
I think our problems are so severe that we needed to get someone in there who talks tough and who finally supports our country abroad.
It's pretty scary. He's got some bad ideas, honestly, and I want to move to Canada, pretty much. Yeah.
For Hillary, I would describe her as kind and caring and respectful, and for Trump, I would say he doesn't really care, just the exact opposite of what I think Hillary is.
What scares me the most about Donald Trump is that I think a lot of these things he said to get votes, I don't think he actually believes in these things, or if he does, I don't think he thinks them as strongly as he has said them. But what really scares me is that people agreed with it and people said, yes, I support that, which is the scariest part of this whole system.
He wasn't a perfect guy. He said some ignorant things, but at the end of the day, we're electing a president, not a pope. I think that the policies he put forth and his past success in business will make him a tremendous president.
And I think her career has just been filled with scandals and corruption. And I look at somebody like Donald Trump, who I acknowledge is not a very good person. Particularly for me, when he mocked the reporter with disabilities as someone who has people with disabilities in my family, I thought that was not very nice. So I don't think he's a good person, but we need a president to lead the country. We don't need a Sunday school teacher.
I think that we're going to be really divided, and a lot of people aren't going to have as many rights as we used to have, and I'm worried for those people because it's just it was a really bad day for them when he got elected.
I think that his slogan, "Make America Great Again," I think that's what he will do. And I mean, I've said that when I found out he won, I texted all my family, "Make America Great Again," because I think that he will be able to do that.
And it was tough to, be attacked by so many people calling me, a bigot, a homophobe, a xenophobe, a racist, just because I supported Trump. I think people are very quick to paint with a broad brush and throw out labels like that. and honestly, not necessarily destroyed friendships, but it definitely, just kind of prefaced who I was to some people without them knowing me. I think they just oh, Andrew Rogavchik supports Trump, he must be a bigot. And that was just tough. So I'm glad that finally this is over. I feel a little warranted for my beliefs, and hopefully can just move on.
Well, it's pretty interesting because in my reading class there are a lot of Trump supporters, and then when you get back into my language arts and math class, it's less Trump supporters. So I enjoy those classes more.
At the end of the day, Donald Trump is now the president for all Americans. That will not be changed, and prolonging this hatred and these divisions is helping no one, and I think we should just do our best to bridge these gaps and come together as one country and unite as Americans.
I think that even though Trump is president, that we should still not give up on our dreams and everything. I think we should keep going because, like Hillary said, we can be anything we want to be.
Give them a chance to make America great again.
I just want you to really think about what electing Donald Trump says to those people of the LGBT community, Muslim Americans, Mexican Americans, women worldwide, what kind of message that puts forward to them, and maybe think, you have your right to vote, you have your right to support who you want to support, but even if you say, oh, he doesn't even want to do those things, it's bad enough that he said them, and it's bad enough that you didn't care that he said them. And I think it just, in general, looks really bad for our country that our president has even said these kind of things.